So I was just talking about the Southwest Side and the little village neighborhood. I had mentioned, even though I was actually talking specifically about Back of the Yards in my video on Jose, aka Maniac, although he had left the streets in the previous video that I uploaded, man. But that Southwest Side, mentioning all the innocent people, women, kids, and everybody that gets killed over there. We just had an incident where two sisters were shot and one of them was killed. A young lady, 22 years old, named Jezebel. And this just took place, I believe, yesterday in a little village neighborhood. Like I was saying, a neighborhood where you don't want to raise kids, period, point blank, because the gangs over there, and I'm not blaming this on the gangs, I don't know what this was, but the gangs over there are pressing everybody. Everybody, including neutrons, and I mean a lot of neutrons. And like I was just saying, there's so many civilian deaths from the choppers and the other stuff that they use over there. It's just crazy, man. So two sisters were shot, one fatally in a little village, according to Chicago police. The women aged 24 and 22 were standing outside at 8:20 p.m. Wednesday night in the 2700 block of South Homan when a gunman opened fire. Doesn't say if they were the intended targets. The younger sister was shot several times in the torso and was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. And the 24-year-old was wounded in the back and abdomen, and she was taken to the hospital in good condition. And I don't know how she was in good condition after taking several shots to the back and stomach. That's crazy. But nobody's been taken into custody, and Area 4 detectives are investigating. So several shots to this girl. I know that, looks like it may have been intentional, but I'm telling you, in this neighborhood, you never know. Because there's been times when, like, innocent little kids have been shot multiple times with the stuff that they use. They use those high-powered rifles, man, and those things are firing like a lot of rounds in a very short span of time. So it's possible that multiple bullets can hit the wrong person. Although this may have been the right person, I don't know. And females, and I'm not talking about this girl. Okay, I don't know what this was, and I don't know who was behind this. But a lot of times people assume based on the gender and the age of the person that they are either innocent or guilty. When they see a young man, they assume that he was involved in something, and when they see a young lady, they assume that she was not. When in fact, a lot of times it's the opposite. A lot of the young guys out there are mistaken identity, and a lot of the young ladies, they were, they had set somebody up or they had dissed somebody, or that's pretty common, So you never know what it was. And again, I'm not putting any of that on this girl because I don't know, but the young ladies definitely are involved. They could have been with the wrong guy, dating a gang member or something that'll get you killed. Another reason not to raise kids over there, because even if you have a girl, she's gonna, link up with one of these guys who's involved in that stuff, and then she's gonna become a target. So yeah, these Latino gangs over there, man, they playing for keeps. Like they spare nobody. So yeah, rest in peace to Jezebel, man, and condolences to her family. Whether or not they have a GoFundMe or not, I'm not sure, but hopefully, they're taking care of it in that regard. Now, this is something that I need to put you guys up on game on, man. There was a robber armed with a crowbar, possibly, who's following victims home from a Northwest Side Walgreens. And Chicago police have issued an alert about a robber armed with a crowbar who followed victims home from that Walgreens in a silver Honda SUV. He followed two victims home from a Walgreens at Belmont and Cicero on the Northwest Side, which is a pretty sweet area. He did that twice on Sunday. The first robbery occurred in the 3200 block of North Lamont at about 6:30 p.m. and the second occurred in the 2900 block of North Keating at around 6:50 p.m. Police said the suspect may be armed with that crowbar and a handgun, and described him as having curly hair, wearing a blue face mask with a white tank top. They said, quote, "Never resist a robbery. Value your life over any and all property. Take note of any physical characteristics. Never pursue a fleeing assailant, and provide the information to police. And if approached by a witness to the incident, request contact information, dial 911 immediately, and remain on scene when possible, and do not touch anything until police arrive." That part about remaining on scene that the police tell you, I'm not sure that's the best idea. I think it's probably a better idea to get out of there. But yeah, anyways, there was another incident over at Schurz High School a mass shooting in which there were 4 victims. Schurz is a school where I only substitute taught a couple times. It's a predominantly Latino high school on the northwest side of Chicago, over by Addison and I believe Milwaukee. Putting more patrols, they said, outside that school. Chicago fire officials said 4 people were shot, and that's in the Irving Park neighborhood. A spokesman for the Chicago Fire Department said the victims were shot at Milwaukee Avenue in Addison around 2:45 p.m., just about 10 minutes before class was about to let out. Police said that a dark-colored SUV pulled up on Addison and somebody inside opened fire at a group of people on the patio of an ice cream shop just south of the intersection. The SUV then fled east on Addison. Police said a 15-year-old boy was struck in the face and neck, and he was taken to the hospital in critical condition. Another 15-year-old boy was struck in the back. He's in good condition. A 17-year-old boy was taken to the hospital in good condition with a grazed wound to the leg, and an 18-year-old boy was taken to the hospital also in good condition with a gunshot wound to the leg. Police had said that all 4 were CPS students, but later corrected themselves, saying that 2 of the victims are CPS students, 1 attends an alternative school, and the 4th victim is an 18-year-old man who may not be a student. Now, students were leaving the high school Thursday, and the injured teens are apparently some of their classmates. They said, "We knew all of them," said one student. "We're not that close to them, but I feel sorry for them. I don't know what they went through, but I feel bad for them for sure." They said, "This is very upsetting, and we understand that we're very upset ourselves and frustrated with this. Our number one priority is the safety of our kids," that's according to Deputy Chief Robert Nieves. So police said that dismissal times at schools are staggered. So there were some students out of school while the majority of Schurz students were inside at the time of the shooting. Nobody's in custody and an investigation is ongoing. Police are looking for video in the neighborhood that may have captured the shooting, and students and parents recounted these horrifying moments as gunfire erupted. One girl was waiting outside the school to pick up her daughter. A lady was waiting when she saw somebody open fire from that passing SUV at La Michoacana ice cream shop, which is a popular hangout spot for students after school. She said the school was locked down and she was still waiting for her daughter to be released from classes at 3:30. Now, students said the school was immediately placed on soft lockdown. One student who was in class and heard gunfire said it appeared to be a drive-by. They said, "I was in class and right behind me I heard about 4 or 5 gunshots, and a few of us kind of ducked down when we heard that." A couple people were freaking out and a couple others did cry. Not many people knew exactly what to do. That student said that he looked out of a window and saw an injured person on the sidewalk, and shortly after that, another victim being taken to an ambulance in a wheelchair. Now, there's going to be more patrols over there on Thursday. That's today, and this happened at Sullivan High School. I've told that story several times on my page about when one of the students who I was actually, he was actually really cool, man. He was a basketball player and everything, and went on to become, I think, a big-time like basketball star in the Chicago League. He was shot, and we thought he was going to die. The bullet, it was a .22, and it ricocheted off of his shoulder bone, went into his lung, and he was in a coma for a minute, man. But thankfully, he pulled through. And the CPS crisis team ensures staff will also be available to students needing additional support going forward. They said, "We will communicate any additional information with the school community. Our thoughts are with those individuals injured in the incident." And in 2019, like I said, a 17-year-old boy was shot and killed when a gunman standing on a corner near Schurz shot at his car. In 2006, 3 students were shot across the street from the school. So there's been several shootings across from that school in what is normally a pretty sweet area, but it does go down on the northwest side occasionally, man. And unfortunately, a lot of that takes place near high schools because a lot of that, a lot of drama involves people that are that age, unfortunately.